Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So we are advantageous to be components of Highborn and Blue Stocking Institute Mamai Shamsipura. But due to prevailing conditions, we feel extremely inopportune that we are away from the institute, but we are of the belief that we must accept finite disappointment but never lose infinite hope. We must stand to change the changeable, accept the unchangeable, and remove ourselves from the unacceptable. We are on with the first words of lecture, and I feel myself felicitous into something. The institute has furnished me the chance to let out and transmit my subjects and knowledge. In our classroom students, we were on with tissues. Then at the first moment, we have complete our first chapter, cell. We said cell is the basic structural and functional unit of life. So we have already completed our portion, cell. While defining cell, we said cell is known as a basic, functional and structural unit of life. After that, our chapter number 2 of biology portion was named by the name tissues. So when we started the chapter tissue, we said the tissue is a cellular organizational level between cell and organ. Or we define it as group of cells with structural and functional characteristics. Then later on, we told that this tissue is a feature of multicellular organisms. That this is a feature only with multicellular organisms, as we have decided, as we already described, that there are two types of organisms: unicellular organisms and multicellular organisms. Means whenever we are talking about unicellular organisms, we shall not be talking about tissues, and when we are talking about multicellular organisms, then we shall be talking about tissues, because tissues is what is a group of cells. So we were on with tissues, and in case of tissues, we had divided the whole chapter into two portions: plant tissues and animal tissues. So we saw why do we classify this chapter tissue into two parts: plant tissues and animal tissues. Then we answered the question that the tissues in case of plants are different from the tissues in case of animals. Means the features, the characteristics of the tissues lying in case of plants are different from the characteristics and features lying in case of animals. So we are already completed one portion of our biology, one portion of this chapter, plant tissues. I hope you are all acquainted with all that, and I hope you will go into quick revision of that portion. Then we started with animal tissues. We said the animals are composed of four basic types of tissues: epithelial tissue, muscular tissue, connective tissue, and neural tissue. This means that all the structure composed of animals, all the structure that comprise the animals is at the basic level comprised of four types of tissues: epithelial tissue, muscular tissue, connective tissue, and neural tissue. We already completed the first one, epithelial tissue, because we said we are dividing these animal tissues on the basis of their characteristics. Means this epithelial tissue will have different set of characteristics, muscular tissue will have different set of characteristics, connective tissue will definitely have different set of characteristics, and neural tissue will have different set of characteristics. And owing to different characteristics, this tissue will have different functions, this tissue will have different functions, this tissue will have different functions, this tissue will have different set of functions. So we are already complete, we are already done with this portion, epithelial tissue. So starting next, we have muscular tissue. So I hope you will get quickly into the revision of this epithelial tissue as well. That's quite easy for you. Anyways, the next tissue which we are going to study, which we are going to start here, is muscular tissue. So please pay attention. Since muscular tissue, since the tissue means it will be made of cells, it will be a group of cells. At the first moment, it will be a group of cells. Now, as epithelial tissue was made up of epithelial cells, muscular tissue on the same lines is made up of muscle cells. Since these muscle cells are long, that's why they are known by a special name as muscle fibers. Means muscular tissue is comprised of muscle fibers, students. After that, since this epithelial tissue had some special characteristics, same is the case here with muscular tissue. This muscular tissue is a special tissue which possesses the property of contraction and relaxation, and this is what makes it a special type of tissue. Since epithelial tissue is a special type of tissue, muscular tissue is a special type of tissue, connective tissue is a special type of tissue, and neural tissue is a special type of tissue, and different characteristics make it special. And which characteristic makes muscular tissue special is the property of contraction and relaxation. So first thing we have to remember, that means muscle tissue show the property of contraction and relaxation. So remember the terms contraction and relaxation. After that, what thing is responsible? What makes this muscular tissue to contract and relax? So the answer is simply contractile proteins. If muscular tissue show contraction and relaxation, it's only because of contractile proteins. So what actually this contraction and relaxation is? Our muscles are actually in the normal state. When they're in normal state, it means they're in the relaxed state. But when they shorten and thicken, the shortening and thickening of muscles leads to their contraction, and it's only because of contraction and relaxation that our muscle cells show movement, that our muscular tissue shows movement. Since this muscular tissue is only responsible for movement in the body, so all types of movement shall be possible only because of muscular tissue. So you have to remember this. All types of movement in the body shall be possible only because of muscular tissue. But what makes this muscular tissue to show property of movement is the property of contraction and relaxation. And what makes these muscle cells to contract and relax is contractile proteins. And what contraction is actually? It is shortening and thickening of contractile. It's shortening and thickening of muscle fibers. So there are two types of contractile proteins, actin and myosin. We will come to this portion in the later part of the lecture. Okay, anyways, to proceed on, let it be there. To proceed on the basis of structure, location, and function, this muscular tissue is of three types. So the basis of classifying it into three types will be its structure, its location, and its function. So here it is. Muscular tissue. Skeletal muscles, visceral muscles, cardiac muscles. But you have to remember once again. You have to remember it. What you have to remember is that this structure, this classification is on the basis of structure, location, and function. I hope that's visible to all of you. So, skeletal muscles, visceral muscles, and cardiac muscles. All this classification shall be on the basis of location. So, this name indicates its location. The name indicates a location here. The name indicates a location here. Talking about skeletal muscles, as the name indicates, skeletal means these muscles are associated with our skeleton system. That means with our bones. The name again indicates a location here. Visceral muscles means these muscles are associated with the lining of visceral organs. Our visceral organs. Visceral organs include the lining of viscera. Say for example, our stomach, so on and so forth. So cardiac muscles. So I've already discussed many times in the classroom. Cardiac is the name associated with heart. So these muscles are associated with the wall of heart. Now, they are known by other names as well. Skeletal muscles, location, on the basis of location. This name is given to this type of muscles. This name is given on the basis of its location. Since it's located, is closely associated with skeleton tissue. Skeleton has been associated with the bones. Visceral, this name is given to it, assigned to it on the basis of its location. And this name is assigned to it on the basis of its location, means it's located in heart. Located in heart, located in visceral organs, located closely associated with skeletal system. That's why it's known as skeletal muscles, it's known as visceral muscles, and it is known as cardiac muscles. I hope that's clear. Okay, it is these muscles, these tissues are given some other names as well. Say for example, this skeletal muscle is also known as striated or striped muscles, and this name is given to it on the basis of its appearance, because when we have a look into it, we see some striations, some bands, some band-like structures, and those band-like structures are known as striations. Means it will show some striations. That's why it's known as striated muscles or striped muscles. So again, on the basis of appearance, this shall be named non-striated and non-striped muscles. Why so? Because this non-striated and non-striped muscle stands for the name because no striations are found in this. No striations. Or I may mention no bands are found in this. No band-like structures are found in this. And same is the case here. Striations and band-like structures are found in cardiac muscles. That's why it's known as striated or striped muscles. So on the basis of location, skeletal muscles. On the basis of location, visceral muscles. On the basis of location, cardiac muscles. Now, on the basis of appearance, striated muscles. On the basis of appearance, non-striated muscles. Why? Because no striations are present, no band-like structures are present when we have a look into its structure, when we have a look into its appearance. Okay, on the basis of function, this skeletal muscle is known as voluntary muscle. This is known as involuntary muscle, and this is known as involuntary muscle as well. So this name shall be on the basis of its function. So why? Look at this clearly. This is known as voluntary muscle. That means those muscles, voluntary, as the name indicates, we under our will. We should work under our will. Say, for example, in our fingers, there are muscles known as voluntary muscles. If I wish to contract, these muscles will contract. If I wish to relax, these muscles will relax. That means these muscles will show the property of contraction and relaxation only under my control. Only if I wish to contract and relax these muscles. But having a look at the visceral muscles. Say, for example, once we eat our food goes into stomach. Now, stomach shows a movement, special type of movement known as peristalsis. Peristalsis or peristaltic movement. But is it ever been possible that our stomach asks our will first? Shall I make movement or not? No, not possible. Stomach shows movement without our will. That means those muscles which are not under our will are known as involuntary muscles. Same is the case with heart. The muscles in heart are always in state of contraction and relaxation. They always contract and relax. They contract to send blood to different parts of the body, but they never take our consent. They never take our will. If we wish to contract them, they shall not be under our will. That when we wish to contract, they will contract. When we wish to relax, they will relax. No, not possible. They contract and relax under their own will. So, what's rest? Another comparison between these types of muscles shall be possible when we go little bit into the structure of these muscles. First, drawing the structure of skeletal muscles, these are cylindrical muscles. Cylindrical, non-branching muscles. Having a look at this, they are somewhat in this spindle shape, non-branched. Having a look at this structure, they are cylindrical muscles but branched. So what shall be next? But one more thing you have to remember: they are multinucleated, uninucleated. You have to remember this thing as well. What shall be the rest in this muscular tissue that we'll be discussing in the next lecture, inshallah. Hope, stay home, stay blessed. Thanks a lot.